So I'll just start off by saying what I hope to accomplish. I hope to accomplish similar to Jessica, not saying ums and like uhs and everything. So, my name is Sarah Dunn, and true love only exists in fairy tales. Many people believe this quote, and up till October 18th, this was something that I believed within my life. On October 18th, I witnessed my grandma pass away, and even though it was a very tragic event in my life, it has taught me a lot about true love and perseverance. The purpose of my presentation today is to give you guys a better knowledge of the story of my grandma and the impact it's had on my life. So today within my story, I'll be sharing the love story of my grandparents, the story of how my grandma passed away, and the difficult times my family faced then on after that impacted my life. So throughout my presentation today, I'll be using quotes from the love story my grandpa actually wrote about how they met, and so you guys have a better feeling and a better understanding of the love story within his words. Huntington Park Ballroom, August 1952. I saw her standing alone on the sideline. Mustering enough courage, I went over and asked, "Shall we dance?" The dance was over too soon, so I took her to a coffee shop to continue our conversation. I learned that her name was Phyllis Ann. All over coffee, that's how it began. This stuck with me a lot because over coffee and dancing, a love story of 58 years began, and you would never think something so simple would occur for so long. So a couple years later, after they were dating, they eventually got married and had 5 children. This is my dad and 4 of his other brothers. And you think that having 5 boys would ruin a marriage, but it only made them stronger. And they continued throughout their marriage a tradition of going dancing every single week. Throughout the rest of their night, he also stated, during our conversation, she told of going with her sorority to the Broadway play South Pacific and how the music thrilled her. Some enchanted evening, you'll meet a stranger, and ends never let her go was the theme song of this play. That was a quote that stuck with my grandpa because never letting her go, meeting the stranger of that night, was something that he kept throughout their marriage. He never wanted to let her go, and he wanted the love to continue forever. So leading into her getting sick was something that was really hard on him because he never wanted to let her go. So on a Friday night, we got a phone call saying my grandma just got finished done with surgery from intestinal blockage. She got a surgery a year ago, so we weren't worried. But a few days later, we got a call saying she got pneumonia and she'd only have a week. So my dad flew out that night. I flew out the next morning, and when my dad picked me up from the hospital, he said that your grandma only has about a few hours or even minutes. She could pass away by the time you get to the hospital. So I was really worried, and by the time I got there, she had some life still left in her, and I spent a few hours with her, and then she passed away. And it was the most tragic thing I've ever faced, but the even harder part was watching my grandpa and all my uncles cry over my grandma. That itself was even more tragic. And my grandpa started losing a lot of weight after she passed away because his wife passed away, and the love for her broke after 58 years. So leading into my next point of the difficult times my family faced, we thought he was soon going to go after because he lost the love of his life. His friends were pushing him towards to go dancing, but he didn't want to do that because it reminded him of her too much. He eventually continued to dance, and this is me and my grandpa dancing at one of our cousins' dancing at my cousin's wedding. And he continues to dance every single Wednesday, go on walks, and do everything that he did with her. So throughout this story of my grandma passing away, even though it was a tragic event, the love story, the passing away of her, and the difficult times faced after really impacted my life because my grandpa showed that even when you're upset, you need to persevere to find your happiness and love again. And true love still exists to this day. So I'm going to leave you with the quote I started with. Some enchanted night you'll meet your stranger, ending with never let her go. So some night you'll meet your enchanted stranger and never let that person go, even though if they pass away, you'll continue your love even if it's just through dancing. Thank you.